Okay. So chances are that these words will be on your test page, right? Consecutive. Or whoops, I was going to do that one last, actually. Let's start with corresponding.
Would that be like 3 and 7?
Okay, what's some examples of corresponding angles?
1 and 5.
1 and 5,
3 and
2 and 6, 3 and 7, 4 and 8. Corresponding means matching, twin angles. Does that make sense? Okay, if the lines are parallel, what do we know about corresponding angles? They're the congruent. See how they look identical? 1 and 5, 2 and 6? They are. If the lines are parallel, they are. Or you can say it backwards. If corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines have to be parallel. Anyway, and then the next one we talked about was alternate interior. Let's raise our hand on this. Who thinks they know what a pair of alternate interiors for this picture would be?
6 and 4.
Okay, Canyon?
6 and 4.
No, not 6 and 4. Okay, Archer? 3 and 6. Okay. 4 and 5. 3 and 6, 4 and 5. Okay, now you two are banned from answering the next question. I kind of forgot who answered the corresponding question.
Me.
Did you really?
I said one of them.
Okay, then I'm going to ban Will also. Will, you're banned from
I
that
said
one.
the other.
Okay, alternate. There's a couple people talking. Exterior. Okay. By the way, on alternate interior, if the lines are parallel, what do we know about those angles? Marion.
They are congruent.
Yeah.
Alternate.
When the lines are parallel, these are the same. See how they look identical again? This looks like a little acute angle, obtuse. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Okay, alternate exterior angles, Jaden.
1 and 8.
1 and 8, right. Or, all right.
7 and 2.
7 and 2. What do we know about alternate exterior angles? If the lines are parallel. Congruent. These are congruent. These are congruent. Whoops. These are congruent if the lines are parallel. What am I missing? Consecutive.
Interior. They're supplementary.
Marianne.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, who can tell me, somebody who hasn't helped yet, what is a pair of consecutive interior angles? Anybody who hasn't? Archer, you're up the list. Tristan? 4 and 6. Right next to each other. You're already up 2. Okay, 3 and 5, right? Do those look the same?
No.
No. If they're not the same, what are they? Supplementary. They add up to 180. Basically, all of these angles in this picture are either the same as angle 1, or they are what to angle 1? Like 1 and 2 are what? 1 and 2 are not congruent. What are 1 and 2? Supplementary. Why did we know 1 and 2 are supplementary? What was that rule called? Linear pairs are supplementary. It was a theorem from chapter 1. If you have to say why, just say linear pairs are supplementary. That's all you need to say. It's a theorem, but you just can say it. You don't need to write linear pair theorem. All right, now we're ready to party. Number 1, we kind of are repeating exactly what we just did. So let's do this again. And use people who haven't helped yet also, if we can. Number 1. Okay, you guys are about to be separated. I just told you not to hand it to yourself. Name 2 pairs of each type of angles. Okay, this has confused us on when I was grading our homework. 2 pairs, how many angles is that? 4. 2 and 2, that's 2 pairs. So we should have 4 angles listed for all of these. All right, 1A. Corresponding. Dylan. What's let's say angle 1. What angle corresponds to angle 1 in that picture?
1/8.
1 and, no, those are, no. So corresponding means matching. So what angle matches, up top we got angle 1, what matches it down below?
2/6.
Okay, 2 and 6 do go together. What goes with angle 1?
Oh, 5.
1 and 5. Okay, so he kind of gave us both answers. Let's do, well, there's 4 possible answers. But I'll say angle 1 and angle 6. This is an and symbol, by the way.
Wait, can you do that? It looks like a D.
Angle, and he said, wait, it was 1 and 5 or 1 and 6?
1 and 5, 2 and 6.
1 and 5, 2 and 6. It's a little, that means and.
I think
It's like a cheap ampersand symbol.
it looks like a.
The ampersand symbol is kind of hard to draw.
How's that hard to do?
It's on the, it's just something, it's weird.
Also, what you say?
Okay, B. Somebody want to try alternate interior? Girls already helped once. Trevor,
Oh, okay.
alternate interior.
Okay. Alternate interior.
So alternate means they're on alternate sides of the transversal.
Wait, so it's
Interior means they're inside.
It's gonna be
6 and,
4.
no.
6.
Okay. They have to be alternate sides of the transversal. So 6 and,
2, 3.
no. So
Sorry.
this is the transversal. So alternate sides of the transversal would be like on this side. Okay, so it's got to be on the opposite side, and it's got to be interior. So that means inside this. So what's opposite of angle 6, but also inside the lines? Okay, 5 would be a linear pair, so it's the other one.
3.
Angle 3. So 6 and 3, what would be the other pair, Trevor?
4 and 5.
4 and 5. 6 and 3, 4 and 5. All right, Mari, you're up to bat.
No, thank you.
Okay, Trevor just did alternate interior, and you need to do alternate exterior. So what do you think exterior means? Outside. So outside of what? Outside of our parallel lines here. So, let's see. One angle that's outside the lines is 8, right? Which is right there. So what would an alternate exterior angle be to 8? Actually, I'm not sure. I gotta look at the picture. Yes, angle 1. So C is angle 1 and angle 8. And what would the other pair be? 2 and 7. I'm trying to call on people who haven't helped yet.
Yeah.
I think I said like one thing.
Yeah, some people have said 0 things.
Yeah.
Get it together. It's not my fault.
We haven't done that many problems for everybody yet. Okay, one more, consecutive interior. Gracie, do you remember what that meant? Consecutive interior? Okay, it means it's gotta be inside the lines, and it's not alternate, so it's not on the opposite side of the line, so it's basically on the same side. So, same side in interior, basically, yeah. I don't really have a picture, you gotta look at your book.
I forgot how
3, 5, 4,
3 and 5, yes, 4 and 6.
to
3 and 5, 4 and 6. All right, Aiden, what do we know on number 3? Looking at number 3, what do we know about angle 3 and angle 7 if the lines are parallel?
the corresponding.
And what do we know about corresponding angles?
What are you saying?
They're the same. So if angle 3 is 110, then angle 7 is. So angle 7 has to be 110 as well. Okay. Mason, on number 5 it says angle 2 and then it says angle 5. So 2 and 5 are not really related to each other, but we can still figure out what they are. Mason, if angle 2 is 130, what do you think angle 6 is going to be?
You said 130?
Yes, 2 is 130, so what do you think 6 will be? Do 2 and 6 look the same or different? They're the same. So angle 6 has to be 130. So we're kind of down here right now. There's angle 6, and we're trying to find angle 5. So Mason, you know, if this is 130, how do we find this one?
What do we find? 5?
Yeah, this angle, yeah. There. You know how these two are related? They make a straight line together. And you remember what a straight angle had to be? 180. So if the whole thing is 180 and this is 130, how do I find this one? Yeah, subtract. So 180 minus 130 means 50. Number 7. Did we go around? On 7, oh, Jasmine. On 7, do those angles look the same or different? Same. So guess what my equation's going to be? If they're the same, then they're equal, right? So it's going to be 2x minus 6 equals 54. Alright, Dylan, flex your algebra, or actually, Jasmine,
Oh, thank you.
I'll let you finish. What? Plus 6. I'll be the calculator part. 6, that's 60.
The living calculator.
And then what? Divide. I think it just asked for x on that one. That's all we needed. Number 9. Oh, by the way, this is a 2-day assignment.
Oh, it is? You work on it tomorrow? So when does it due? Tomorrow?
20 minutes. Due in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Wait, is 6?
Would
Would you set up 6 the same way?
Where's the new
Is 6 the same? Are those two angles the same angle on 6?
No.
No, but what do we know about those two angles?
Yeah, 180.
They add up to 180. So that thing plus that thing equals 180. Okay, number 9. So our options are that lines M and N have to be parallel, lines P and Q have to be parallel, they both have to be parallel, or none of them have to be parallel. So A, B, C, or D. It's multiple choice. You guys remember doing this a week ago? So on number 9, it's telling us that 2 and 11 are congruent. Angles 2 and 11. Do you guys see those angles in the picture? Jasmine, you see that angle in the picture? 2 and 11 are congruent. What kind of angles are 2 and 11?
90 degrees.
M.
Okay, what kind of angles are angles 2 and 11?
exterior.
Alternate exterior. Yes. If those angles, alternate exterior angles are congruent, then what two lines have to be parallel?
No, B.
Whatever these two are called, right?
A.
They're alternate exteriors on these two lines. This line is called a transversal. These two would have to be the parallel lines. So M and N means option A, yes.
It's number 9.
That's 9. Okay, number 11,
So it's just M in it? Like,
if M and N are parallel, that's option A. You guys remember on the homework they made us say the theorem? And the theorem was basically if alternate exterior angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. Okay, number 11. 3 is congruent to 10. And 10 is congruent to 15. What are 3 and 10 in that picture? 3 and 10 are alternate interior. So it's like right here, 3 and 10. If these two are congruent,
And then 10 and 15 are also.
what lines have to be parallel?
And then
Yeah, these two again. But it also says that 10 is congruent to 15, I think. This one down here. What kind of angles are these two? Alternate interior. Between what two lines? These two lines. So these two being the same makes these parallel. These two being the same makes these two parallel. So all the lines have a parallel, buddy. Which option is that? A, B, C, or D? C. Both pairs are parallel. Okay. Number 12. Given the picture, we're trying to prove 1 and 4 are supplementary. There's not really a name for 1 and 4. It's not a pair that we've named, but we're trying to prove they're supplementary. Guess what line 1 is going to be on 24? The given.
T is parallel to Q with transversal T.
With transversal T, right. So write that down for line 1. Okay, that was the statement for line 1. What's the reason we know that's true? Given. So that's the reason for line 1. Statement was the given. Statement was the given stuff. P is parallel to Q with transversal T.
Okay, what's weird.
Look where it says given. That's what we're putting for line 1.
Oh, okay. Just give me a second. What about line 2?
You don't have to copy the whole proof. It's just since it's just fill in the blank.
Great.
It's gonna take too long to do the whole thing.
I'll just do it.
I mean, you can, but you might fall behind
Yeah.
writing all the extra stuff out. Okay, line 2 says angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. How did they know that was true?
We're parallel.
I heard a couple people say it. Okay,
Consecutive exterior?
they're not, no, there's no such thing as consecutive exterior.
They're corresponding.
They're corresponding angles. We know that if the lines are parallel, corresponding angles have to be congruent, right?
Yes.
You could write that out.
Parallel corresponding angles.
No, it's actually a postulate. You can say corresponding angles are congruent when lines are parallel, or corresponding angle postulate.
CAP.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's not enough.
Well, I'm writing out the entire thing. I'm just looking up.
Yeah, don't write CAP, I won't give it to you. Carson, are you meditating? So on line 3, what does the book usually write after they say the angles are congruent? If we're using definition of congruent angles.
Like measurement of angles.
Yeah, they usually,
And the squiggly full angles.
Corresponding.
no, they use the squiggly on line 2, the congruent symbol on line 2. So if the angles are congruent, their measurements are the same. So that's what they're saying on line 3. Measurement of angle 1 equals measurement of angle 3.
number 4 being supplementary angle?
Just a minute. Nope, not.
Stack bunch of.
Okay, on number 4, if you look at that picture, don't say the answer yet. How do we know angle 3 and angle 4? Why do we know 3 and 4 have to be supplementary? Don't say it. You guys see it? Angle 3 and 4 in the picture. If you're not looking at the picture, you're gonna not know what's going on, and when you have to do this on your own, you're gonna be totally lost. You have to follow
Because
along.
the line going through the middle makes it add up to 180, or what's the word? Is it
Close.
a linear pair?
Yeah, it's called linear pair. It's linear pairs are supplementary. That is a theorem, but you can just say it. Linear pairs are supplementary. Okay, on line 4, we just said 3 and 4 are supplementary. On line 5, they're saying something by definition of supplementary. So what does it mean to be supplementary?
Measurement of angle 3 plus measurement of angle 4 equals 180.
It means they add up to 180. So measurement of angle 3. Now when I say measurement, you don't write the word measurement. What do you write? Little m. Measurement of angle 3 plus measurement of angle 4 must equal 180. Just write a little equation there.
That's number 4.
No, this is line 5.
Okay, so
What Carson said was line 4.
what did Carson say?
Linear pairs are supplementary.
Can you say 5 one more time?
Measurement of angle 3 plus measurement of angle 4 equals 180. Okay, so this is the line we just wrote on line 5. This is what they put next on line 6. What did they do from here to here?
Switch 1 to 3.
Substitution.
Yeah, they replaced, why did they do that? We know they're the same because that was like our line 2. These two are the same, so we can replace them, and that is called substitution, yes. So on line 6, the reason is substitution. If 1 and 4 add up to 180, what do I know about angles 1 and angle 4?
1 and 4 are supplementary.
Right. Angle 1 and angle 4 are supplementary. I think, didn't they give us the reason on that one?
No,
No, they.
it's a definition.
Yeah, it's definition of supplementary. I kinda ran out of room there. Supplement.
Yay, we got 12 done.
Woohoo! We're actually,
Another one.
we're actually gonna say 15 and 16 for tomorrow, because that's the big fun.
So we can just work on this today?
No, we're gonna jump to 23.
Well, how much space do we need for 15 and 16?
You can just put it at the end, it'll be fine.
They have to be in order.
Angle 1 and angle 4.
No, well, they don't.
And then it's definition of supplementary.
That's unfortunate.
I'm sorry for your loss. You can guess if you want to. Just take that risk.
So it's basically the same thing as 12, it's 2 problems for that?
They're a little bit easier than 12. That's why it's make your own. When they have you do your own, they make them a little bit easier. Okay, we're jumping to 23. I don't know if I told you guys, but I decided that I will give you the formulas
On the test?
I'll put them on the board. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You guys remember but I will warn you, when you get in Algebra 2, you do have to have it memorized for when we do that chapter. Like chapter 2 next year. Anyway, does anybody remember the distance formula?
Oh,
starts with the big,
Square root, and then you put, x.
Yeah, I mean,
the change in x's squared plus the change in y's squared. It's kind of like a complicated version of the Pythagorean theorem. This is like the change in x's is like
Wouldn't that be y1 squared?
the change in y's gives you this line. So this squared plus this squared equals this squared, so you have to take the square root at the end. Anyway.
Mr. Jordan, that one would be
Oh,
y1.
I forgot my square, yeah.
Alright.
Alright,
y1.
I know the midpoint.
Really? You said it like 5 times and how you got
I know
from
midpoint.
any.
x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2.
you read your notes so well. Okay, midpoint. Midpoint has two numbers because it's a point in the middle of these 2 points. A point, remember, has 2 coordinates, an x and y coordinate. So the midpoint has an x and y coordinate. The x coordinate is the average of the x coordinates on the ends. The y coordinate is the average of the y coordinates on the ends. That's midpoint. You have 2 numbers
I
on
know
that.
slope. Actually, I just know slope.
Really? You guys remember slope from last year?
Yeah, y2 minus 1 minus x1 minus x1. I don't even have to look up it.
Y minus y over x minus x.
That's easy.
Yeah, we did that one last year. Usually if people get that one wrong, it's because they put the x's on top.
Mr. Jordan,
Yeah.
you was doing homework Thursday night.
Thursday night, Thursday is the test, so.
Oh,
yeah.
Thursday's the test?
Yeah,
No,
or sorry,
Friday.
Friday's the test.
Oh,
So Thursday is studying for the test.
Nice. You can, oh, please don't say.
You done?
Yeah.
Yeah, school.
Who's doing average?
Sorry.
Yeah. Go finish that on Friday.
Okay, number 23, find the distance. So I'm gonna do x minus x, y minus y. Plug those in. So on 23, the x's are 3 and 9. The order doesn't really matter because once you square it, it's going to come out positive either way. So I'm going to do 9 minus 3 squared plus the y values are 2 and 10. 10 minus 2 squared. So you could just plug all this in your calculator at once. You could just make it.
It doesn't
9 minus 3 is 6 squared is 36. 10 minus 2 is 8 squared is 64. 36 plus 64 is 100. Square root of 100 is 10. The distance between those 2 points is 10. That was number 23, I think. 23? 25, I think 25 is midpoint, right? Yes, midpoint. So I'm going to average the x values, 14 plus negative 6 divided by 2. And I'm going to average the y values, which are negative 3 plus 21 divided by 2. What is 14 plus negative 6?
Oh, I'm writing that.
8 divided by 2 is 4.
Mr. Jordan, it was 100 what up there?
Square root of 100 equals 10.
Oh, okay.
Negative 3 plus 21, 18 divided by 2.
I couldn't see if it said square root.
4, 9, right in the middle of those 2 points. Number 27, find the slope. Slope formula. Y minus y, x minus x. The y values are 6 and 0 and 3 and 6. So I'm going to do 6 minus 0 and 3 minus 6. The order doesn't matter as long as you do the y's and x's in the same order. 6 minus 0 is 6. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. What's 6 divided by negative 3?
Negative 2.
Negative 2 is the slope. Uh-oh. Trouble in paradise. Hmm? You got a comment, Gracie?
I'm just gonna speak on that only.
Oh, goodness, that's sweet.
What in the world?
Yeah, history class is great.
I hate that class. It's my least favorite.
Alright, so we've got to use all of them. We got to do the distance between these two, we got to do the midpoint and the slope. So I'm just going to plug these in. C and D, I'll do like C minus 0 for the x's and D minus 0 for the y's.
But where's C and D?
We don't know.
Oh, so we're not using that open.
It's a mystery. So we're not going to be able to solve it completely, we just got to simplify it. What's C minus 0?
C minus 0.
It's C. Minus 0 doesn't do anything. C minus 0 is C squared. Plus D minus 0 squared. And do the square root of all that. Can we simplify that? No, we cannot. So that is the first answer. Basically, it's the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared. I guess you could say C squared plus D squared equals E squared. That's why we do square root. Okay, and then midpoint. Midpoint was 25. That's where we add and divide by 2. So it's C plus 0 divided by 2. And D plus 0 divided by 2. Alright, C plus 0 is C. So it's C over 2. D plus 0 is D. D over 2. That is the midpoint. Last but not least, y minus y over x minus x. Which ones are the y's?
D and 0.
D and 0. D is, so I'm going to put D minus 0 on top and C minus 0 on bottom.
So it's D over C.
So it's D over C. I'll put it over here.
That was C.
That was the long problem.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand it. I did it, to be honest.
All I did was plug in C and 0 to all the formulas and then simplified it. Like C plus 0 is C, right?
Yeah.
So it was C over 2.
Okay.
D plus 0 is D. So it's D over 2.
Okay.
And that's just D, that's just C. D and C. So you just plug in the D's and the zeros and the C's and the
I don't
zeros.
understand it surprisingly.
Good job. Way to go.
Yes, I do.
And your reward is helping Trevor when you get to that part.
Oh.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You win the prize.
Trevor, your prize.
Yeah. Trevor, you're a prize. Congratulations to you too.
30 negative, for the midpoint with negative A plus A, make it 0 or would that?
Yeah, negative A plus A is 0.
So it would be currently 0 over 2.
Okay. 31. No. No, we cannot just.
What do you think I was going to ask you?
Mario was about to say, can we just stop?
Yeah.
No. We'll stop at 33, okay? We'll stop at 33 today. But you're out of room?
No, I just don't.
You just don't feel it? Okay. On 31, find the slope of WX. How do I find the slope between 2 points on the picture?
You
Do stuff.
You count the what over what?
rise.
Count the rise and count the run. If I'm moving from W to X in your book, you gotta look at the picture on 31. Moving from W to X, how much does it rise?
-1,
Nope,
negative.
nope.
2.
It rises
Negative 2.
-2.
Oh, that's why.
It's like W's here and X is here, right? So it's rising -2. How much does it run from W to X? I think it's 4.
Yeah, it's 4. I was counting extra.
Okay, the slope is rise over run, -2 over 4. What does that reduce to though? -1/2.
Can you help us on 32?
Okay. If this slope is -1/2, Will, what would a perpendicular slope be?
Forgot what perpendicular
Can you
is.
swap it?
Perpendicular means it makes 90-degree angles,
Oh, thank you.
but you can't tell by just looking,
Yeah.
because they both look like they're 90 degrees, but they're not. If we learned this yesterday, guys, if -1/2 is the slope for this line, you guys remember how we found the perpendicular slope yesterday? It's going to be positive, opposite reciprocal, positive 2 over 1. So if this line has a slope of, listen, if this line has a slope of -1/2, the perpendicular line should have a slope of 2 over 1. That's how you figure out 32. One of those lines, either WZ or XY, has a slope of 2 over 1, or just a slope of 2. Number 33, which segments are parallel?
ZW and
And-
Y.
Okay, how can we tell by their slopes? What do we know about parallel line slopes?
They have the same slope.
Should be the same. Okay, WX, we just figured out its slope was -1/2. What is the slope of ZY? What is the rise from Z to Y?
1/4.
Right, except for it's negative. -1/4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that the same as this slope? No. So that tells me those two lines are not actually parallel. If you look in the picture, they look really close to parallel, don't they?
Did you see put 9?
But they're not parallel. How about the left and the right? What's the slope for ZW? How much is the rise on ZW? 1, 5. How much is the run on ZW? 5 over 2 is the slope. On YX, what is the rise? 1, 2, 4. What is the run? So one slope is 5 over 2, the other slope is 4 over 2. Are they parallel? No, not the same. So which lines are parallel? None. Number 33 is none.
Oh.
32 I did not do. I just said you had to find the perpendicular slope. If my hint was, if this is the slope for WX, the perpendicular slope should be 2 over 1.
Don't you just flip it? Yeah. See? Also, I'm
Was that called
do you
reciprocal?
have a class in
Opposites for the negative, reciprocal, yes.
Mr. Joe, do you have a class? Do you have a class in that?
6th,
8.
8th, no.
And I've done
Do what?
help math. Any
Is
help
it
on
catch up or is it today?
It's catch up. Any help on every?
Wait, I thought we did that yesterday.
Yeah, there's another one. I was doing 2 days.
Okay, yeah, you can.
Well, the other day I just needed help on one.
Mr. Jordan, is this due tomorrow or Friday?
And Jaden, you're gonna get out of volleyball practice, right?
Okay, that was like an hour ago.
That was like 20 minutes ago, so currently.
Well, you missed today. Oh, you're gonna take a preview. You didn't turn your day.
I would save that for a bigger time.
Yes, that's what I do. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
You can take a preview.
Oh, my knees.
I need to know how
still have a few minutes.
You wouldn't because of it. Guys, let's keep the door shut until it rings.
Turn off.
Oh, no.